Good morning, everyone. How's it going? This is Matthias, and I went to IBM's developer conference last week, and I had an amazing time. I arrived on a Friday. I did training Saturday and Sunday. We reviewed IT architecture and how IBM can solve so many problems within the IT landscape. It really is the hybrid cloud and AI company. And it was a wonderful time because that weekend I got to pause, reflect, eat good food, and really think about what an IT architecture is and how it propels businesses forward. And the next few days were in the conference, so many workshops, many hands-on labs, many talks that shifted the way I think about some of the things that are happening right now and gave me visibility into some of the changes that are happening in real time from so many different little worlds in IT that eventually coalesce to deliver the ultimate architecture. So I wanted to share a few of these key insights with you. And so, number one, we need to keep the bigger picture in mind. So IT projects shouldn't be science experiments. They need to be operational superpowers. Every new app, every new GPU, and every new server should be built to accelerate the business. IT is becoming a core pillar of every company's strategy moving forward. And so it's essential to prioritize the right projects. Don't get stuck doing things that aren't going to deliver value in the long term. I think IT and the business needs to be tightly interconnected and in constant communication. So that's something that needs to be architected into your company. That's a organizational design principle that needs to be in place moving forward. And when you apply automation and intelligent workflows to a company at scale, things get easier, things get smoother, friction melts away, people get their jobs done more effectively. They don't have to wait for hours to talk to HR. They don't have to wait for hours to talk to IT. We now have the power to automate a lot of these things. And it's an investment that's worthwhile because when your employees are happy and things are smooth, work gets done faster and the quality of the work increases. So all important things. And just another quick point is don't build apps for their own sake. Build apps that are going to change people's lives. Build apps that are going to change their job functions, that are going to catalyze change for the better. And so another important thing, and I think it's more of a macroeconomic insight, is that all these data center build-outs are requiring a lot of energy. And so while we're building out more GPUs, while we're building out more data centers, while we're re-architecting what we already have, we need to realize that this is driving a lot of energy. So we're going to need clean energy to power this AI revolution, which is going to power so many scientific breakthroughs and I think artistic breakthroughs too, with the rise of the metaverse and the improvement of technologies. And it's a flywheel that's picking up. And it's all connected. So it's all connected. The key to making business operations smooth is interconnectivity. So data should be accessible, should be ready for insight. It should have sufficient metadata surrounding it so that it can be understood by AI and connected to AI. The data needs to be easily auditable and it needs to have the right access controls. So again, it needs to all be connected, but it needs to be connected in the right way, not in a haphazard, chaotic way. And applications should be talking to each other, and AI should be talking to applications. And now it can with the rise of MCP, the standard for AI to access resources, services, and prompts on applications and its ability to do things with the applications is driving a whole new level of autonomy, which is super powerful. And when you have an interconnected landscape of AI and data and applications that are integrated and connected and talking to each other, you get an orchestra. You get an orchestra with rising performance. You have the power to go out and architect an orchestra of applications of AI and data, and of course the infrastructure housing all of it, that changes the way your organization operates. So put people on this. Think about it. Think about how your workflows are going to be shifted moving forward. Another important thing, quantum computing is coming, right? So quantum computing at an essential level has the ability to simulate particles with high precision, and it can accelerate medical and engineering breakthroughs. And it also has other powers, right? So it can crack some of the cryptographic algorithms that have been invented to date. And that means hackers could gain visibility into data that they've captured. There's something called packet sniffing in cybersecurity, and that's when you can collect encrypted data, and hackers have been doing this for a long time. They've collected encrypted data that has flowed through networks, and now if quantum computers get portable enough and if they get access to them, they're going to be able to decrypt all this data that they've collected. So it's posing a real danger. And so you need to be very careful with what cryptographic keys your organization is using and start to migrate them to quantum safe cryptographic keys at an essential level. And some speculate that if one company cracks the code and makes these quantum computers portable, the US government is going to swoop in and take it away to keep it from causing catastrophe. But I think the rabbit is already out of the hat, and other countries around the world are moving in this direction and trying to effectively build these types of quantum computers. So yeah, vibe coding is accelerating the world. And this is something I love because it gives people the power to design and engineer software really quickly. It gives people that perhaps didn't have the time to go out and learn software engineering the ability to create amazing applications to drive their business or just to explore the bounds of their creativity, create games. And it's making programming less about muscle memory and more about precise architecture. Because if you have a schema and you want to write a function and you want AI to, and you want to write this function quickly, you can have AI just write the function. If you have your schema in mind, if you have your overall architecture in mind, if you have the design principles of distributed computing in mind. So there are a lot of things you can do with this type of programming if you give the AI the right context and if you prompt it to do the right things. One tip I have for that is don't just say, oh, do this in one go. Break down your problem into different components and solve one step at a time, because remember that AI is predicting the next word, so it's predicting the next line of code. And if you're asking it to predict too many lines of code at once, it's not going to be as precise if it's predicting too many as if it were predicting small components of the overall build you're creating. So important things. So UIs are being shipped at light speed, and comprehensive tests can be created quickly too. So the speed of code is accelerating, and that I think is going to drive breakthroughs in other areas too. It's giving access, especially to scientists who can now program things with more ease. And hey, if you need help learning to program and to vibe code and to do AI-powered programming, this is something I teach. So let me know. I'll drop a link in the comments, and you can reach out to me if that's of interest. So software is the key, right? And I think a lot of people don't realize this, but Software takes people through workflows. It helps standardize the way things get done. It has the power to guide users through experiences that tremendously enhance artifacts of work. So imagine I am on Photoshop and I'm trying to create an image on Photoshop. Instead of having all these buttons that I can use, what if there was a guided workflow, a step-by-step process that I could follow for every single picture? And that's just one example, but maybe it's to create an email, a sales email, and I want my team to follow a specific process. What if I designed software that made them follow that process every single time when they were creating an email? I would be able to essentially embed my principles into an experience and a workflow that would enable them to do the things that I want them to do. Of course, you don't want like ultimate control or anything like that, but this can help when a senior leader is guiding young people who don't really understand things yet. So software is an opportunity for you to design an experience for others, and this can be extremely powerful. Resistance to AI, that's the next idea. And I think people fear AI because it's forcing them to change their habits, and change causes pain, and pain causes rejection. So people have practiced the same job for many years and have gotten comfortable, and they're afraid that their jobs are going away. And it's true. Their jobs as they know them are going away. Things are going to be different moving forward. So I don't see this as an attack. I see this as an opportunity to evolve, to create new skill sets, to invent new workflows. And we need to adapt. We need to be innovators, not laggards. I think that's the key. So AI agents, moving on to the next idea, AI agents unify experiences. So AI agents have the power to understand applications and intelligently create and operate workflows. So they can understand what's happening inside an app and create workflows on the fly, and then also get things done. So instead of having to learn to use an app and click a bunch of buttons, we can ask AI, hey AI, go use this app. Of course, we need to build an AI that can do this and understand it. But hey AI, go use this app and do things for us. And we can design some human in the loop into that software experience so that the right things are getting done. But this ability for AI's ability to use apps is only getting better. And so soon we're going to have AI, hey AI, go to Canva, create this image, download it to my computer, and then upload it to LinkedIn, and then comment on 10 people's posts. Well, you already start to see a few dangers there. And we want to maintain the web to be an authentic place. So we need to be careful with all this AI slop, as it's being called, and be careful about it. This is a problem that I'm not even sure how to address, because I could thoughtfully design workflows and activities that I want AI to go out and do for me in a way that is actually representative of me and my brand and my principles. But it's not that easy, because again, AI is just predicting the next token. So it's not 100% high fidelity, but it can get the job done a high percentage of the time. And sometimes that's all we need. So we're moving towards a multi-model future. So you don't need a frontier model for everything. You can use smaller models for smaller workloads, for tasks that are not as complex. And if you have a $1 million budget and you can save $1 million budget for your tokens, and you can save 20% of that by using smaller models for very specific tasks throughout your application, then, or at your company, then you can save a ton of money. And so if you save 20% of $1 million, that's $200,000. You could hire a great engineer. So think about that as you architect AI throughout your company or throughout your personal life. You don't always have to use the most expensive model. So, final point, you can't have solid artificial intelligence without a solid information architecture. And what I mean by this is you need to have the data set up. You need to have the data organized. You need to have metadata for the data. You need to have data pipelines. You need to have streaming. You need to have the right types of databases to store the right types of data. You need to have the right schemas for your data, the right models of the world, because at the end of the day with data, we're digitizing what's happening in reality and using that digitization with functions to create outcomes. So since we're only digitizing a limited slice of the world, we need to make sure that slice is important enough and key in the right slice to actually get the things done that we want to get done. So building all the pipelines around your data, having the right data, and having the right infrastructure around your data, the right speed, the right transactional capacity, the right networking, it's all very important. And AI needs the right data. So AI needs to be able to access the right data, and it can't access too much data. You need to have the right rules in place. So, and AI works better with context, of course. If I ask AI, how can I improve my business? My business is called Hero's Path. Improve my business. It's going to give me some very generic questions. But if I tell it exactly what Hero's Path does, I tell it my revenue this year, I tell it the different types of clients that I work with, and I'm able to pull this data from the different sections in my organization in a way that's automated, the AI is going to be way more effective. And that's the power of context engineering. And yeah, I learned so many things at this conference, and I'm sure that new insights will continue to arise as they always do. The mind's always processing. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, give it a like, comment, send it to your friends, and let's connect. I mean, hey, you want to learn how to become a creative technologist? That's what I teach. That's what I love doing. And also, hey, you need help with your company, with your infrastructure, with your data and AI projects. I operate as a solutions engineer, so just reach out. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day.